The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Lisa just advised me that I forgot to turn my mic on. These are some of the wonderful, amazing things I love about my assistant because she keeps an eye on me. Thank you, everyone, for being here with me this evening. I want to thank you so much for giving me your time, and we're going to have just an absolute wonderful time this evening. I want to ask you to forgive me for some of the mess behind me, but you are seeing here my new office. I've actually finally made this move and very comfortable here. I think we're going to have a great time. Now, a couple of announcements before we get started. As you can see from the Psychic Hours Horary chart that I have here on the screen, my website, of course, you know, is www.sandyanastasi.com. If you are interested, folks, in studying the tarot with me, and of course I'm actually using those tarot cards as we work this evening. This is my old deck I'm showing you here. I have this absolutely wonderful new program that gives the whole tarot class that I taught to you in nice little bite-sized pieces. So if you want to study that tarot class with me, it's now available to you as a program you can order up anytime on Kajabi, and the address is right here on the slide. And even if you don't want to order it, if you're just practicing on your own and you want a little tarot guide of the short meanings of all of the cards, you are welcome to just go on to that address and it'll give you a free download of the tarot cards. Those are the meanings that I work with that are in my Tarot Readers Workbook. So, and that, of course, is available on my website and also on Amazon.com. My other announcement is, guess what? Those of you who have been eagerly awaiting the Kabbalah Pathworking class that I generally teach about every 2 years, I'm getting ready to start up another class. You're the first to know. It actually hasn't even gone out in the newsletter yet. There's not a whisper out there, but the class is actually going to start on Wednesday night, the 6th of June. So if you're interested in studying Kabbalah pathworking and being, the observer of your own spiritual growth, taking that next step in your own evolutionary unfoldment, the Kabbalah Pathworking class is the class that's for you. So go ahead to go to my website. Again, the website address is right here on the slide, and you can find out all about the Kabbalah Pathworking and how to sign up for it. So I'm hoping that I'll get to see some of you in that class. We'll be together for about 6 months, and it is a journey into higher consciousness with lots and lots of guided visualization, taking very deep journeys inside of yourself. If you're that type of person, it's unbelievable. You will simply love it. Okay, those are my announcements, along with the fact that you need to write on your calendar right now the date for our next Psychic Hour. And May Psychic Hour will be on May 20th. And of course, you can sign up for that right on the website already. It's already there. If you haven't signed up, go ahead and do that. You know, these classes do fill up early. And so if you want to get on it, it's going to be good to sign up right away. Okay, those are my announcements for this evening. I'm ready to jump right in to doing some readings for you folks and discussing all these crazy things that are going on in our world right now and how they affect us. The chart that I have up here on this slide is the horary chart for this evening's webinar. And every single person who is here on the webinar has got your life and your questions that you're going to be asking this evening right here in this slide. So I see bunches of hands up. If you have a question, I know a few of you have already been on here before, so you know how it works. Raise your hand. Lisa is in the chat room, and she will call on you. She likes to call on people who haven't been here before, so if you're new, you have a better chance of being called. Folks, I'm going to ask everybody, listen carefully, even if it's not your question, because my guides, I'm channeling when I do this class, and my guides are talking to your guides. And even if your question doesn't get out here, your guides will have a way of slipping the answers in for you. So make sure you're listening to the entire thing. And I always do make an invitation to you, those of you who are on the webinar with me this evening, who've taken the time out of your life to be here. If you do not get called on, I'm going to give you the opportunity to write me one simple question, not your life book, but one question that must reach me before 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. So you have 24 hours to ask that question, and I will get back to you. It might take me a few days, maybe a week even, but I will get back to you. I'll answer that question for you. Okay? Folks, if you're listening to this on the recording, no, please don't send your question. I only answer the question of people who've been here live. And also, if you, I know I always receive a few questions before the class begins. Folks, my guides aren't here with me yet then. I can't actually start asking your questions until we start the webinar. So you really have to be here to ask those questions to get your question answered. And Lisa, I'm ready to get started. Who's our first victim?
Alrighty, the first victim for tonight, lucky you, is going to be Angela. Angela, you're unmuted.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Angela. Angela, a couple of ground rules. We know your name. If you would also tell us where you're from, what your sun sign is, what you're most grateful for this evening, and then your question. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I'm Angela. I reside in Canton, Ohio. I'm a Virgo. What I'm most grateful for right now, aside from wonderful hedge of protection around my family and my son who's over by Syria right now on the USS Lapoon, all my boys doing great. I am most thankful for a healing through use of agate when doctors at Cleveland Clinic had told me I would never be able to speak again unless I got injections into my vocal cords every 3 months for the rest of my life because of abductor spasmodic dysphonia. But instead of feeling like I lost my voice and giving up, optimism says, don't give up, use what you have at your disposal. I didn't know that much about crystals except for they were beautiful. I found some agate that I was drawn to. I started putting it on my throat. Here I am talking your ears off. And I have not had a Botox injection, and I was able to introduce the head of ENT and speech pathology at Cleveland Clinic to crystal healing.
Wow. Wow. And now I want to show the folks this evening how a horary chart works, okay? Here's Angela, who is a Virgo, and the first 23 degrees of Virgo, if you watch my cursor, are right up here in the public career. Here I am. This is the way I want to appear out there in the world house. And here's Angela, and by the way, Virgo rules healing, talking about how she's, in the public eye, right here online with us, talking about how she's introduced crystal healing to this whole wonderful new Cleveland Clinic. I love it. And incidentally, there's a little bit more information here for you, Angela, specifically. There's a very good probability that, and I'm not putting the agate down, I absolutely think you went to the right route, but I also think you got a misdiagnosis. You have, and folks who are Virgos, Geminis, Sagittarians, or Pisces, please listen to this. The planet Neptune is moving through Pisces, and it's making a hard aspect to Virgos, Geminis, Sagittarians, and a direct hit to Pisceans. And what that means is that if you are one of those signs or have an ascendant or a moon in one of those signs, that you are virtually impossible to diagnose right now. And it could be for a lot of reasons. It could be that you've been on medication for something and that medication's covering symptoms. Or it could be you've got 2 or 3 things wrong and so it's mixing up and they can't give you a diagnosis. Or sometimes your intuition is so strong you're knowing about the illness and you're telling them, but the symptoms aren't strong enough for them to find out yet. The thing is, there's a ton of reasons, but this planet's transit makes it almost impossible for an accurate diagnosis to happen. So all of you 4 signs, you need to really develop your intuition, as Angela did, and pay attention to not just your feelings, but that little inner voice that says, I need to check blah. And then you need to find a physician to work with who's open-minded enough to work with you when you say, I want you to check my whatever it is. Because more often than not, your connection to your own body is going to give you that information far, far better than what any medical practitioner is going to give you. So we still need the doctor. We need the doctor to be able to work us through the tests and prescribe the medications, but we also have to have our own input, because if you have that Neptune transit, your intuition is going to be a far better diagnostician than the doctors are able to do. And always, if you do go with a doctor's evaluation, go to 3. Get 3 opinions, just 1.
I did. I made sure that, pardon me, this was something that had been going on since I got sick in December, and I do phone work, so I wasn't able to even go back to work yet, but I feel that I'm being pulled in so many other directions right now, and that there's this whole shift and awakening. And losing my voice, I found my voice, and I feel that I'm meant to do something far greater than sit in a cubicle doing phone work right now. I feel that there's something really big for me. And that's part of the reason why I'm on the webinar with you tonight, is to see what you see coming up for me overall in the next few months.
And Angela, thanks for talking about that too, because that right there is one of the other things this Neptune transit does. And again, it's affecting those 4 signs, Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sag, most strongly. And what it says is, I want to make a difference in the world. I want to find what I'm here for. Whatever it is I'm doing right now, I need to know that I'm able to apply myself to something higher by doing what I'm doing. So all of us who are in these beautiful signs, that's what those signs are, we have that same feeling. So don't feel left out, Angela. It's not just you. We're all in that same place. Now, what else is kind of neat is that you were talking about your sun before, and Chiron and Mercury are in that house that rules your sun. Okay, I don't mean your sun sign, I mean your son, your child. So I don't know what he's doing, but I can tell you right now, in his heart, he's feeling like he's helping to bring healing to that region over there. So you should feel, so he's sharing your desire to heal, and he's sharing it in a bigger way. And that, by the way, is the Arians. That's what you guys are going through right now. The Arians, the Librans, the Cancers, the Capricorns. You're also wanting to serve a bigger purpose and in a healing way. And, your son is doing it by being on that ship. So, thank you to him. Okay? Now, you want to know, do you have, folks, I believe we all have many purposes. Okay? We all have a karmic reason that our soul has want to come back here to this physical plane. And it could be as simple as, I want to see somebody I left behind, or it could be, I want to have another chocolate chip cookie. That could draw us back. Okay. But I do believe most of us here have a sense of a bigger purpose. And, Angela, this is the card I pulled for you for your purpose. And it's important to note, it's the Ace of Swords I'm holding here. And it's important to know that swords has to do with communication. And when it's
Wow.
inverted, it's something which is blocking your communication. That's what we've just been talking about. I love when the cards pick up on the conversation. And guess
Right.
what? It says that you're a natural born teacher. And so here you are on the telephone, you're doing this telephone work, which may or may not be fine, or we'll look at it, but you have to teach. In order to feel complete, you have to teach. So when you were raising your children, you were, mothers teach. Okay, it's part of what goes along with being a mom. So that part of you that needed to be the teacher and the guide and the leader and the coach and the advisor, that part of you was being very satisfied when you were
Mhm.
raising the kids. But the kids are now, kind of getting out on their own, doing their own thing, and that part of you that's the teacher is saying, "What am I doing here?" Okay.
Yeah.
So how can you ask yourself this question? How can you incorporate educating and teaching the people on the other end of that phone line while you're working the phone line? Because that,
I would lose.
you see, when you do that, you're going to be bringing joy to you into the work that you're doing. And if you can't do
Hey,
that, you need perhaps to find another job.
yeah, that's the thing is because I work for a bank in the fraud department. So and we have to worry about our call time and everything. So I wouldn't be permitted really to really do what I would find fulfilling to help other people when they call in. And it's not just fulfillment for me, but it's like when the girls call in from disability and check and they hear the progress and I am able to tell them, in losing my voice, I found my voice and going out on a limb and making people realize how much we have to be thankful for and how many other ways there are to communicate with just your voice, but that's part of your identity. Being able to share those things with people. Those are very pertinent things that people need to realize. About all the other blessings we have, you have to focus on that, not on the bad. It's about a mindset and letting that come through and not having a defeatist attitude or letting that soak into your spirit. You have to rise above it.
Right. And this is what you want to put out to people. This is what you want to teach. This is what you want to share. And a big part of your frustration right now, and I'm just going to be really blunt, is that you're dealing with people in a fraud department who have had big things go on. And they're very, very upset. And they're throwing that upset at you over the phone. And you're on the
Right.
timeline and you can't help them. You can only handle them. And hence
It's,
you're losing your voice because you're imploding. Do you understand how that works?
yes.
That's the
Yes, I
thing
do.
going on. So, how about finding another way to find your voice? And by the way, it may end up that you leave the bank job. You may end up moving into another aspect where you're communicating things that need to be communicated. But here's one way that you can do it immediately. You have a gift for writing. You have a gift for speaking. You have a gift for teaching. And why not pull it together and write one heck of a wonderful book on all the stuff that you have dealt with? And you don't need to use names or anything like that, but you can talk about how people can avoid fraud and what fraud has done to their lives and the conversations with people that you've had and the way that you would offer and help them, but why you haven't been able to. Can you imagine? You can have a bestseller there. This affects every human being on the planet. We're all dealing with these issues right now. Okay?
Right.
So
Right.
it's time for you to look at that. Okay?
Perfect.
And you are, remember, when you say, what am I supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be communicating, you're supposed to be teaching, and you're supposed to be leading. And this is how you're going to be able to do it. Okay? Now, whether or not you keep the bank job when all this is done, you may not even need it. You may have addressed the need to communicate by writing and publishing this book, which actually is very easy to do these days. I would suggest you look at Amazon.com's Create Space. No, I have no stock in the company, but they have an absolutely wonderful staff, great tutorial, easy to publish through, and anybody these days can publish a book. And online you can find out ways to promote it, and Amazon will even have ways to help you to do that. So it's a great place for you to get started. And your guides are saying, in fact, you have an angel, and that angel is saying, it's time, do this. You've been thinking about it a long time. Do it.
I have way
Okay.
before this happened. I've had so many people say, "Girl, you need to write the book."
Yes, you
You
need
know,
to write the book. And now it's time
awesome.
to start listening. Those are your guides talking through all your friends and me.
Yes,
Time to
yes.
listen. Okay. Good
I
luck.
love it. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you,
Thank you.
Lisa. Thank you so much.
Okay, Lisa, who is our next person?
Well, let's go ahead and call it what it is. Our next victim is going to be Sandra. Sandra, you're unmuted, I hope.
Sandra, what a lovely name you have.
Hi, Sandy. Can you hear me?
I can. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I actually spoke with you a couple of months ago, and I asked you a question, and I meant to, if you called on me, tell you thank you because I never replied to say thank you. Excuse
Well,
me.
you're welcome.
And like I said, my name is Sandra. I live in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm an Aries. And today, you know, I'm most grateful for the people in my life and my friends. And that has to do with the question I have for you. I've been very solitary, and I say that in an okay. That's just how I've been. And I, for a long time, had people in my life that were just there, but not, you know, close to me. And I've worked very hard to get to a point where I have the people that I enjoy in my life, and I am still solitary. I work from home, but I've kind of worked it so that this is exactly where I needed to be, and I'm happy. So that's what I'm most grateful for. And I'm sorry, I'm out of breath. I was walking up the stairs.
And what's your specific question this evening?
My question for you is, a very long time ago, I met somebody, and it was almost a very serendipitous meeting, and this person wasn't in my life for physically very long, but I always just was very impacted, and this person meant so much for me, and it wasn't romantic. It was just that appreciation for somebody that, for someone like me, I don't find very many people like that. And I knew him for about 15 years, and we kept in touch here and there. And I happened to speak to him a couple of months before he died. And I never really got a chance. I always thought, oh, one day we'll get together and we'll have a beer and we'll catch up and how's everybody. And I just wanted to know if you could, your guides could see if, I just wanted to know if this person knew how much they meant in my life.
Yes, he did. Yes. And,
Thank you.
you know, the thing is that, well, I don't know how deeply you want me to go with this. There was a friendship, but there was also a deep romantic attraction as well.
Yes.
But because of your life situation, or actually his life situation, nothing could ever happen there. But he definitely knew, he definitely recognized the connection, the psychic connection. My guides are telling me that this person was a soulmate for you. Now, we can have many soulmates in life. He was one. So that's why he constantly comes back up into your mind. Even though he might be on the other side, you can still feel that connection if he would think about you. And folks, I know that it sounds strange to some of you, but you don't die. There's no such thing as death. I love Esther Hicks and her group of spirits that she channels, Abraham Hicks, who say we're alive here and then we're alive there. It's just a different dimension. So when his mind would go to you in life as well as in death, you would think about him. Will you ever know him again in a future lifetime? My guides say, oh yes, you will. And the circumstances will be much more convenient for you to have a connection that works. Whereas in this lifetime, it simply wasn't meant to be. It wasn't possible because of the circumstances.
And I knew that the minute I knew it right away.
Yeah.
And it was just very special. Thank you.
I'm glad you got to know him. And yes, he is aware that he had a very dynamic effect on your life. What he really wants you to know, though, is that you also had a very dynamic effect on his life. So sometimes even those subtle, not, I don't want to call it superficial because it wasn't superficial, it was deep, but it wasn't a constant contact. Folks, even those relationships with the right person at the right time can be incredibly transformative to both parties. So he wants you to know that not only did he affect you, you also affected him.
That means a lot. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good luck with everything, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And Lisa, who is, okay, I'll say it, our next victim.
You just have to go with the flow. Let me see. Our next victim is going to be Jennifer G. Jennifer, I think you're self-muted. There you go.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, I just want to say I'm from Long Island, and I'm very grateful for my family and the wonderful people that I've met in my career and in my lifetime. And as I'm getting older, I cherish those relationships a lot more, and I think about them a lot more. But you know, my question is, what was I like in a oh, sorry.
I missed what sun sign you said you were. I'm sorry.
I'm a Virgo. I'm sorry. A Virgo.
Okay. Maybe I didn't miss it, but I didn't get it. Okay. Okay. So we have another Virgo up here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's your question?
I just want to know what I was in a past life. You know, I know we have many lives, but maybe what, stood out the most.
Interesting questions. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do something with astrology. Okay. If in this chart, this house right here, the 10th house, 11th cusp, you can see where my cursor is. This would be the first house for Virgo, right? So if we go all the way around the chart, okay, to the 12th house, do you see how I did that? If this is your first house right here with Virgo on the cusp, all the way around, brings you back to the 12th. The 12th house, they say, the sign that's on the cusp of it, is the sign that you were in your very last life. So for you, your last life would have been a Leo.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you love it? I bet you have a whole lot of Leos around you, don't you?
I do. That's so funny. I do. My sister, my boyfriend, very good friends. I find them, it's very weird.
Yep. And I'll tell you something else about that past life. One of the reasons that family and friends and the closeness of all those people is so very important to you in this life is that in that life, you lost them.
Okay.
You did everything humanly possible to try and keep the family together, to try and bridge all the difficulties, to try and get everybody to get along with each other, and you couldn't. And because of difficulties that you could not resolve, you had to step back and watch it dissolve.
Okay.
But you learned that lesson. And I bet you anything in this lifetime, you're one of those very rare Virgo moms who knows enough to not interfere, aren't you?
Yes. I do. I give their space.
The Virgos to want to fix everything. For everybody in their family, for all their friends, for their kids. And you're not that Virgo. You're that Virgo who says, if they want help, they'll come to me.
Yeah.
Then, and you learned that. You learned that lesson. So, and you learned it in a past life when you were a Leo.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So thanks for that interesting question. Okay.
Thank you.
And you have a great rest of the week. Okay.
You too. Thank you.
And Lisa, who's next on our list?
All right, the next person, I don't want to call her a victim for some reason, is Carrie. Carrie, it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute?
Hello, Carrie. Can't hear you yet.
Hello.
There you are.
Hi. How are you guys tonight?
We're good. And how are you?
Good. So I'm Carrie. I'm a Virgo, and I am from Nevada, Iowa.
This is our Virgo night.
Yes,
With
yes,
a
it
couple of
is.
Carries
It is.
thrown in. And what is your
Yes.
specific question, Carrie?
My specific question is recently I have had a lot of cues, I guess, from the universe that maybe I'm supposed to be psychic or tap into my psychic ability. And I know I've watched a lot of your YouTube videos, Sandy, and you've said everyone is psychic and you just have to tap into it. And so I guess my question is, what am I supposed to be doing with my career? What am I supposed to be doing with my life?
Okay, this one is, it's a little bit of a can of worms, and it's going to affect a whole lot of other people on this call. So, folks, please listen up. First off, if you, like Carrie, are a Virgo or one of those other mutable signs, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, you're being affected by Neptune. You heard me say that at the beginning of the session. Neptune rules psychic ability. So if you're one of those mutable signs, or you have an ascendant or a moon in one of those signs, your psychic ability is running wild. And if you are not paying attention to it, you're making a lot of mistakes in your life because you're ignoring an inner voice that's screaming to be heard. If you are paying attention to your intuition and you're really listening to your feelings and you're following and I'm not talking about your emotions, but your feeling nature, then you're making positive moves and positive steps forward in your life. So that's real important for everyone to know. Now, Carrie, just specifically for you,
Yeah.
are having opposition from the people around you, and it's very subtle. Now, this also refers to all of the other Virgos on the call, because this chart that we're looking at here tonight says that every Virgo on the call, relative to their intuition, to following that inner gut feeling, has a whole lot of people in their family and close to them who are busy saying, "What do you mean? You're going to do what? How can you be so?
Yeah.
Who said that?" So it's really hard
Yeah.
to be strong within yourself and say, yes, I want to step forward and embrace whatever it is, whether it's writing a book or teaching a class or studying psychic development. It's hard to step forward into that when you have so many people around you saying, come on, put your feet on the ground and get real about this. Do you see? And so you're not alone. You have a whole bunch of people on the call here with you who are going through that same kind of thing right now. And your biggest thing for you is, if you step into that world, how are we going to pay the bills?
Right.
And you have a gentleman around you. Love him. He's very sweet. He's very gentle. He's caring. He's supportive. And the idea of your stepping out of the mold of his perfect woman, who's been there in every way, shape, and form for everything, and into somebody that he just doesn't understand anymore, really, really unnerves him. So you've got two issues going on here. One is, how are we going to pay the bills if we don't have that great income coming in? And two is, I don't think I know you anymore. Who are you? And both of those things, whether he's saying them or not, and other people as well around you, not just him, he's not the only one, you're psychically picking them up. You're picking that resistance up. And that resistance is undermining your confidence in stepping forward to develop a part of yourself that you are feeling very compelled, or impelled, I should say, to develop. There may be some, for you, it's psychic ability. For somebody else here on the call, it might be their musical talents, or their artistic ability, or some other form of creative ability. Neptune rules a whole lot of things. And so whoever you are, or whatever it is you want to step forward into, and right now you're feeling that resistance. It's not just your own inner resistance, it's your own inner resistance, which is coming from all of the focus from these other people around you, who, even though they love you, are giving you the wrong kind of support. They're giving you the kind of support that says, don't take that chance, when they need to be giving you the kind of support that says, I know you can do it. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be your
Yeah.
own support.
Yeah, and that's kind of the feeling I'm getting is, you know, I'm very new to the whole psychic intuition thing, and I think everybody around me is going to think it's crazy and off the wall and, you know, all of that. So it's really a kind of an internal battle as to kind of ease people into that idea.
Let me tell you,
So,
a quickie story, and I'll make it short because I don't want to take up all of your time, but maybe you'll find it a little bit um, encouraging. Daisy started out as a safety engineer, making a very good salary, and needed to become a psychic. And when I initially quit my job as a safety engineer and moved into being a psychic, I took a $30,000 a year hit. And my family needed that money to eat. So I took a real chance. Within a year, I had made that difference up. But my family, here I was now supporting my whole immediate family. But my greater family, mother, father, sister, friends, all thought I didn't work. And for years, they said to me, when are you going to get a real job? And for years, I just smiled sweetly and went back to dealing with my clients because I knew that I already had a real job. They didn't. It wasn't until I began to do psychic readings in a friend's store, a physical place, that one day my mom said, "Oh, Sandy's got this great job." And I just laughed to myself because I had been basically doing all this stuff for all those years, and she never knew because it was not within her frame of reference. And you need to get to that understanding that, are you going to live your life for yourself, or are you going to live your life because you're fulfilling someone else's need of who you're supposed to be? Now, I'm not going to pass judgment on you no matter what you decide, because frankly, it's your life and it has to make you happy. But understand that's what you're going up against. Am I living my life
sure.
for you, or am I living my life not even for you, but for your perception of who you want me to be, or even who you think I am that I'm not? This is like I said, this is the whole terms you've just opened, and I know my guides haven't really given you any direct answer here, but what they are saying is, yes, you are psychic, and yes, that inner voice is going to keep screaming to be developed, but you may develop it just with your children and your family and use it that way. Many people do. Or you may get out there in the world, which you certainly could do. This shows Virgo right up here in the house of career. And could you make a career out of being a psychic? Oh, absolutely, you could. But remember, it's not like you can suddenly go to the bank and apply for a job. You don't start your career as a psychic and go to the psychic place and apply for a job, or at least most people don't. For the most part, when you step out to be a psychic or a channel or a medium, you're owning your own company and having to develop it. So there's a real challenge there. So it needs to be given a lot of thought, unless you're in a store you can go work in. So I hope I've given you some good stuff to think about there. But yes, you are psychic. Yes, you have the ability. Yes, you can develop this as a professional. But you are going to have to get the support from inside yourself. It's not going to come to you from most of the people around you. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, Sandy.
Good luck to you. Hope to see you in one of my classes one day.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. And Lisa, who's next, please?
All right, our next person, excuse me, is going to be Christina. Christina, you are unmuted.
Hi, Christina.
Hi. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to go right with what I'm grateful for, and that's for being chosen. So my name is Christina, and I live in La Mirada, California, and my sun sign is Scorpio. And my question is, I have a really important business trip that I take in May every year, and it's something I look forward to every year. And so we have it approaching here in the next couple of weeks, and I just kind of wanted to know what to expect.
Well, first off, you're going to have to bear with me for a moment, but Scorpio is the sign that's right here on the ascendant of this horary chart. So this chart is really about you. That's really cool. And Jupiter, which expands everything you touch, from money to relationships to travel, is right there in the first house. So this should be one of the best trips you've ever taken. Now, note that this Jupiter is in opposition to Venus. So, I don't know if you're planning on bringing your significant other with you or not, but this talks about relationship activities that are going on while you're on this trip. So, if you bring your significant other, that significant other is probably going to be a real strong part of everything that you do, but you may also have to go your separate ways part of the time. If you don't bring your significant other, there's almost a guarantee that something's going to be going on at home that's going to be acting like taffy, that's going to be pulling your attention away, i.e., whether your significant other is on the trip or not, they are going to take a lot of your attention. Put that in the back of your mind and plan for it. And then you can make that work for you instead of against you, okay? There's another interesting thing here, too, because this whole aspect is part of a neat little, it's actually a grand cross, okay? So you're going to be talking on this business trip to a whole lot of people that you're going to be making connections to that in this moment can't go anywhere. But before the year is out, it's like the cork is going to come out of the bottle, and a lot of these connections are going to prove very, very important to you in your career, in wherever you're going with it. Okay?
Thank you very much. And it's so interesting that you say that. I happen to be going through a divorce right now, and I actually had a dream that my husband was with me at this trip just this week. Mm-hmm. So, and even though I'm going through a divorce, it kind of gave me that intuitive and that insight to prepare for exactly what you just said.
It makes sense then. While you're gone is going to be when he's going to be launching everything that you have to deal with. So be prepared for it. Get somebody here where you are living, maybe your attorney or whoever it is, get them all prepared and all set to deal with anything that comes up, so that it's not going to disturb what you do at this business meeting, because there's a lot of very, very important stuff that's coming up here. And this can give you basically the things that you really want. The potential for fulfilling them is there. But the mate is going to be a major distraction unless you really figure out how to plan for it. Kind of like getting a babysitter for the kid, you know?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And Lisa, we're on to our next person.
Yes, we are. I hope I pronounced this correct. Elio, you're unmuted. Actually, it says you're self-muted. There you go.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
My name is Ellen, and I live in Florida, and I'm also a Virgo.
It's my Virgo night. I love it. Okay. And what is I've already done the generals, so what is your specific question?
My specific question is that you have helped me in the past, the last couple months ago, that I'm taking my business from an online business to out in the physical world. And I am doing my first art show actually this coming weekend. And I wanted to know, is there anything that I'm missing to be successful at doing these shows?
Actually, only patience. You know, it's wonderful too that you're asking a question that's career based. You know, here's Virgo in that 10th house. There's also a lot of support from friends that's going on, and that's because it's on the cusp of the 11th house. I love how this works. It's giving you recognition, being able to have this show. And I probably told this to you before, Do not get rid of your online presence. Do both. Okay?
Right.
Work in both arenas, because what you're going to be finding doing what you do is that having the foot in the real world is going to help the online presence. The online is going to do so much better because you're having this show, but please don't expect overnight wows, okay?
Right. Uh-huh.
I see a lot of, I'm going to say, pain behind you, and I'm going to chalk that up to a lot of mistakes along the way, but meanwhile, you've gotten to where you're at because you've had the tenacity to hang in there. You are going to be making some money from this show, which is really good. You're going to be getting some offers that my guides are saying, don't get so excited that you give the whole house away. But I'm feeling like, pay attention to what's going on, kind of like log it in, because you're being shown opportunities that lie more than it's like you're going to have a tendency to want to get focused on each little thing because you're a Virgo. Wow, I got this, and wow, I got this, and wow, I got this. And my guides are saying, oh, that's all fine and well, but please see the big picture, because you're able to develop some connections and make some pathways with people in the physical world and also the online world who could be very important. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So pay attention to what's going on. Be patient. Develop this. This is only the beginning. This will be a first show. There will be more. And there's showing me at least a half dozen shows. Okay?
Right.
Between here and the end of the year. So this is going to move forward. But as you move, you've got to constantly stop yourself from going into that, Virgo, put it under a magnifying glass and scrutinize every detail part of it. And you've got to keep pushing yourself back so that you can see that big picture. And by doing that, you're going to make sure that you don't miss some of these opportunities that might be peripheral, that could be very important. Okay?
Oh, yeah. And I have a really, really big problem with doing exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So thank you.
What is really good in your art is not necessarily good for management. Just remember that.
It's not what?
Okay.
It's not what? What was that? It's not what?
It's not always the best for managing.
Oh, uh-huh.
What's good as an artist isn't always the best thing for managing the business.
Oh, right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a great trait, but use it in the right places. Okay?
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Good luck. I hope you have a very successful show. Good luck. And my God, it will be. Okay. Lisa, who's our next victim?
All righty. Next lucky person is going to be Teresa. Teresa, you're unmuted.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Nice to speak with you.
Great. And I think I'm supposed to say something I'm grateful for. That's what I've heard everyone else say.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I'm grateful for my health. I've had a lot of struggle with my health. I had breast cancer in 2014, and I had several surgeries, like one to reconstruct, and I had everything, all kinds of drama around that. I seem to have come out to the other side of that, so my health is great right now. And my question is kind of one thing I'm working on right now is trying to develop my own skills and abilities and to reconnect with my spirit guides and my guardian angels, because I had my spiritual awakening years and years ago, back in like 1995, 96. And I don't think I realized how I did it. It was like one day out of my life where I meditated. I had this book, Ask Your Angels. I did all the exercises, and I had my chakras all buzzing and humming. It was all aligned. And then I thought I was done, and I sat up, and I could hear my spirit guide, and she did all of this stuff with me. Past life regression, a tarot reading. She showed me other ways of self-hypnosis. I did automatic writing. She just showed me all my gifts. They were all there. And now I didn't realize that meditation is what made it happen. So like I never meditated again. And I don't know why. And I just wanted to know if you can hear my guides, if you can give me any advice.
Well, first, what's your sun sign?
My sun sign is Scorpio. Oh, I'm a Scorpio.
Yes,
Yeah.
Scorpio. Okay. And where are you living?
Well, I live in Iowa right now.
Okay.
Northwest Iowa.
Always nice to know where people are calling in from. And I'll tell you, with Jupiter in the first house and Scorpio right here on the ascendant, guess what? This happens to be a great time making a square to Neptune. That's the planet that deals with meditation. So is Jupiter, Jupiter's dreams. This is really a great time for you and all of the Scorpios, Taurians, and Leos and Aquarians on the call. It's a great time for you to start recording your dreams and start recognizing that your guides and your higher self are communicating you already through your dreams. That's a great place to start. And it's also a very good time for you in your life to start the process of meditation again. So,
yeah, I've been meditating since January again.
And that meditation is going to open those doors again. Now, what happened back then, she showed you all of your potential skills. That's wonderful, okay? Now you're going to have the opportunity to develop them, okay? Mm-hmm. So the thing to do is to get the class that I'm teaching or find a class that's local to where you're at that you can study with a teacher that you trust, and go step by step by step. The beauty, the great thing that you have is that you were already shown what you're capable of doing, so the confidence should be there. Wow, I know this is there. All I have to do is relax and learn how to let this happen. Notice I said allow, let this happen. And learning and practicing and allowing it to emerge, you know it's already there, you can allow it to come through again. And yes, it does have to be relearned, okay? The first time it was kind of given as a gift, and you didn't pay attention, you didn't keep it up, so it shut back down again. Now, she's deliberately not going to help you. She's going to let you uncover it yourself, because that way you're going to know it's your own strength. Now, yeah, don't you love it? Do that. Okay. There's something else going on here, too, though, that's in the way. There's someone close to you who's got either a drug or an alcohol or an eating problem, smoking problem. It's an addictive problem. And it is an issue with health. And that individual disturbs the peace in you that is required to be able to really allow all of these gifts to start to open back up again. So that's a situation that you have to find a way to deal with emotionally, so that you're going to be able to set it aside and become that still person who's not ego connected. Here's the key. Who can uncover the gifts again that you have. Bottom line is that when you have too much drama in your life, and anyone, anywhere who is involved with people who have addictive problems is going to be drawn into their drama, because all people with addictive problems create drama in their life in order to enhance their energy. So,
well, I have been trying to work with my daughter and get her to meditate so that she can get in touch with her guides as well, because she's kind of close to the age I was when it all opened up for me, and I think that would help her with her problems. And she's very strong-willed. She's a Taurus, and so she does kind of impinge on me. She's not an alcoholic, but she's like a 420 friendly kind of girl, and that's not my thing right now. I'm all about health, and I'm trying to actually learn all of this so that I can be a healer, because I feel that is in me to do it, and I believe everyone can be if that's what they seek, if that's what they want to work on.
You start to think that maybe the best way to motivate your daughter is not for you to even encourage or push her, but the best way is for you to focus on you and to become, and then she will see and copy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm working on it. It just seems like it's not going as fast as I want it to, because I'm really excited. It's my when this happened to me the first time, I was like on a charge for days. I mean, I was just totally, I had to shut it down because it was really overwhelming. And there was no one to talk to about it because this was 20 years ago and the internet wasn't as big. I didn't have the internet in my life or anyone else that was a free thinker like me and on this kind of wavelength. But now everyone's listening. I really feel I have a captivated audience right now, and I'm really excited. It's like, oh my God, I want this to move faster so I can help people. I'm really eager to get out there and help people.
Yep. And the most important thing you can do for yourself, and this is also big because of being a Scorpio, it's about the letting go. You've got to let go of so much in order to gain so much. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
And in letting go of all the things that are pulling at you, that are preventing you from doing the work on yourself that needs to happen, you're going to gain that inner stability and find that inner self that you left behind so many years ago. But there's this process of becoming progressively less attached to everyone and everything that's around you, so that you can be less I don't want to say selfish, but self-centered about everything. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
The place you're needing to get to is where the personal ego is no longer involved. And the way to get to where the personal ego is not involved is to let go of your feeling of responsibility for everyone and everything else.
Oh,
it sounds
yeah.
It sounds like it's a conflict, but it's not. You can actually be so much more helpful to people when you're not trying to fix them.
Yeah.
It sounds
right.
like that's a conflict, but it's not. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And for you, and for a lot of the other Scorpios and Taurians, particularly on the call this evening, and it's interesting. You're the Scorpio. Your daughter is the Taurus. So she's busy trying to fix you while you're busy trying to fix her. Have you noticed?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Not at the same time, but yeah, when you say it, yeah.
Right. And you're both going to do better together and individually when you stop trying to fix each other and start appreciating one another for everything that you are without needing to have to be anything that you're not.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Well, she's got a particularly trying little boy. He's 3 years old and he's very headstrong and I don't know. He's very intense, I guess is a word you could say. Very willful, and he wants to play, he wants everybody's attention all the time. She doesn't know how to put him. Her mothering technique is way different than mine.
Right.
First of all,
Hold it. We're into a different question now. And so I'm going to ask you when we have, because we're basically out of time and I want to take one more question from another person, but
okay.
Put this question in the back of your mind, and the next psychic hour, call in, and Lisa, please remember who this gal is, because this would be a great question for us to start the next psychic hour with. Okay?
Okay, great. Yep. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Who's going to be our last caller?
Oh, I can feel all the eyes on me right now saying me, but to try to stay true to the order I wrote them down. Anyway, the last person is going to be Beth. If I can unmute her.
Hello, Beth.
Beth, are you self-muted? Beth,
I'm not hearing you, so you're going to have to unmute Beth. Nope, still not. I'm not hearing anything except a lot of static.
There it is.
Oh,
Hello?
oh, now we've got you. Okay, I can hear you.
Oh, hi. My name is Beth.
Can you mute the TV that's in the background?
Yes, I'm going into the other room. I'm sorry about
Thank
that.
you.
Is that better?
That's far better, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm a Libra, and I'm most grateful for, my health and my family.
Awesome. And where are you calling from, Beth?
Long Island.
Where did you say?
Long Island.
Okay. didn't come through quite clear because of it. Rhode Island. Boy, you're way up.
New York.
It's still cold. Okay.
It's getting warmer.
Yep, it's getting there. It's getting there. Spring has sprung. So
Yeah.
here you are. You're in the 11th house in this Horary chart, which really is about friends and groups. And it's about you're kind of right now trying to find, let's say, your own place. How to keep the people in your world all balanced and happy and content, and you feel kind of like you're responsible in some sense to orchestrate that balance. So you're doing a whole lot of that, and you're also looking into yourself a lot. You're looking at your own motives, and you're doing. I would be bet you're recording your dreams, aren't you, girl? You should be, because you're getting some very active dreams, and so are all the other Libras on our call this evening. So what's your specific question?
Well, I'm not sure if you can answer, but we'll try. I'm not quite sure what my spiritual gifts are. If it's healing, if it's psychic, if it's card reading, or all three.
Well, you're very psychic. And
yes.
Working with the tarot cards is, I don't know if you've practiced with them or worked with them. My guides are shaking their heads and saying yes.
Yes, I have.
They're like, it's almost like they're a tremendous catalyst for you. They actually help your psychic abilities and also your abilities as a healer to unfold. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that your healer abilities are going to come through your communication, okay? And your psychic abilities, obviously, through your communication, and tarot is your best key right now. The first one that you had asked for, I just don't get that that's where you're really going to be going, okay? Stick with your tarot reading and develop your psychic abilities in addition to your tarot reading, and it's going to take your tarot and your healing work to a far, far deeper level than anything that you can imagine. There's also a gentleman around you who's a block to the work that you're doing, to your developing of these abilities. You need to work through that. If you try to avoid it and ignore it, it's not going to go away. The block's going to get bigger, and it's going to be harder to deal with. It's going to be far easier not to argue or fight, but to just not do the cover-up. Do you know what I'm saying? Just make it a part of life. Make it easy. And the block will eventually simply go away if you do that. But if you try to ignore it or bury it, it won't. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you. You have a wonderful week. And
you too.
I want to thank everyone for having stuck it out and stayed on the Psychic Hour here with me for the last hour. I hope that everybody got their questions answered as we went through the Psychic Hour. My guides have a way of addressing so many people because they know you're here. Your guides are talking to mine. Folks, I want to remind you about my website. It's www.sandyanastasi.com. You can find out what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, what classes are coming up there. My next class that's coming up, you're going to want to take, is Kabbalah Pathworking. And folks, I only teach it about once every 2 years. It's the only place on the planet that you are going to be able to get a class which will help you on your own spiritual journey. It'll help you to evolve. It'll help you to uncover and discover parts of yourself you never even imagined existed. And it's all being done through guided visualization using the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, that is, as a roadmap. So go onto my website and read all about it. And I'm hoping that I'll see some of you there. It's just a miraculous journey. It's just wonderful. If you get my, I keep saying editorial. If you got my editorial, or will be getting my editorial in my newsletter, read it. It's going to tell you more about it. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, make sure you do that on the website, and you'll be able to find out more about it from that. Also, if you go to my tarot readers page on the Kajabi page here, you're going to be able to get a free short tarot card meeting guide, and you'll be able to check out a little bit about what that program is all about too. Tarot card reading is fun, easy, and a lot of you would do very well with it. Folks, this has been great. Thanks so much. Remember, if you want me to ask that one simple question, get it to me before 9 p.m. tomorrow night, and I'll be glad to answer it for you. Once again, thank you so much. Good night.